follow these instructions. And there you have it. This has been Eric the Wrench with All Right. Okay, you can see we brine everything, take it, shake it down. We grab our tire. We shake it back and forth. There is no excessive play because all our linkages are good. But what we do have is up and down play. We got a bad upper ball joint. Alright, so we have our precision super strength. We have our Timekin seal set with the bearing. Moog upper and lower super duty ball joints with the grease fittings. And a little channel carved in them for the grease to go around. 7/8 socket for here. Okay, the camera overheated, so really quick from the future I want to show you. Remove the cotter pin, okay? We reinstall the castle nut upside down until it is flush with the bolt. This way we don't damage the castle or the threads. Okay. Give it a couple cracks, not pounds, a couple cracks. Until it breaks free. Or one of these ball separators for your pitman arm also works on tie rod ends. It's great. Set it in here. Like a pickle fork, right underneath, and we'll just hammer it in, and we crank it down until it separates. Basically, we got everything off like we're doing our bearings and brakes, except we take off these bolts 9/16. We take off this. Okay. See how this comes off. Now you're about to see me doing this with the slide hammer. I think I jerked the joints out of my body more than I removed this pilot bearing. Now, what I found was much easier. We just need a little bit more of an angle to here. Okay, that should do it. Let's go quencher. If you just let it cool naturally, it'd be too soft. You get the point. Tap her right down a couple taps. Now we'll pop her a little something so she's supported. This round edge is going to go down. Put the back side of our wheel bearing socket on there when we're once we're tapped in and lined up. Tap in the center and evenly drive it down. And then we're going to find the right size socket that just barely fits in there, and we'll drive it down. Now another important thing I'd like to show you goes in like this. Okay, but you only install this bearing down enough until this still fits flush. There is nothing for it to seat against. And once the natural coal's going, we simply glaze the burgers in the chops, garnish with some onions and a pepper. Oh. Alright, the same way we remove that tie rod end, we're going to remove the steering knuckle and separate the ball joints. First, what we're going to do is we're going to want to remove the nut from the bottom, then remove the nut from the top, take it, put it back on upside down, flush, and we're going to want to crack it until it separates. Then we could remove the sleeve from the steering knuckle. If you don't have one, I made this out of a 3/4 inch deep well. We'll take our little
snap ring out. And this just taps right out. Now you wish it does. Actually, no joke, this is tapping right out.
Alright, this is how we remove the ball joints. We start with the lower because we obviously can't get the upper out without our screw fitting through the hole. Okay, now once we drive it in, as far as the tools we have work, I'll put a socket on the end to bop it the rest of the way through. Wear eye protection, it could shatter on you. We're going to make sure it's taut by hand. Make sure nothing's binding before we just go hammering on her with the air tool. That's all there is to it. You can see how loose that is. Okay, we grease up the inside. We grease everything. We want things to work smoothly. We pick out in here because that's where the cup fits, and you see all that. Now, I know it seems crazy to use the piece that came with my kit that fits, even though I have to back it out and switch to a socket anyway to get it the rest of the way through. But I like how it's the same size as the ball joint and it fits evenly in the head of the screw. So it helps me know I'm applying even pressure and we're not screwing anything up and damaging our 40-year-old part. As you can see, the top joint is very loose. I mean, it's supposed to move a little bit. This one just, you could barely move it in a couple directions. Shot. Okay, we'll start by positioning our top ball joint, making sure that our grease fitting is just to the left of this seam here to make it easy to get at. We don't want to face it forward, it'll get full of crap. Okay, you can see I'm using this to press it in by hand. Now that it's up against here, I'm going to back this out and I'm going to use some old cups here I saved here, and they're going to fit right in. Okay, ease it in slowly, about medium, after we've seated it by hand without our extra spacer. We turn her in. When she stops turning, stop. I mean, if you can't turn it no more, you're done. And that concludes part 1 of 2.